Hello everyone and welcome to Spicy Soup, the channel where we cover sociology and related topics. My name is Chad Seeger, and today we're going to be discussing the concept of culture. This is one of the most important and powerful unseen forces in humanity. It is simultaneously a crucial element to studying human behavior, yet essentially at the same time impossible to describe. So how does that work? Stick around and find out. It kind of stinks, but culture, the fundamental building block of sociology, is notoriously difficult to describe. I've heard the expression that defining a culture is similar to nailing jello to a wall. You might get a little bit to stick, but most of it falls apart. It's a bit of a paradox, but while attempting to understand culture and its massive impact on society is crucial, culture itself is tantalizing beyond any complete codification or systematic analysis. It just is. Bummer, right? Before we get to a definition, here's a little test to see if you believe me. I'll use the United States as an example because that's where I'm from, but feel free to use whatever country you come from. Consider this question. Is there such a thing as American culture? If you answered yes, then here's the follow-up. What is it? Now, if you said hot dogs, that's a type of sausage that originated in Vienna. If you said guns, that's a type of weapon that goes back to the late Middle Ages. If you said freedom, that's a philosophical concept that goes back to antiquity. Now, even if you're right about all three, does a sausage, a weapon, and a philosophical concept really tell me what American culture is? Now, usually when you define a word or concept, you can do it in a few short sentences. Try doing that with someone who's never even heard of your culture, but be thorough and accurate. Now let's take the complexity up a notch. Does America have one culture? No. Does it have 3, 5, 10, 100? Take your time, but I expect an answer. Now, I'm not saying culture isn't real. I'm just saying that it's very difficult, if even possible, to truly define. And yet, it plays such a major role in who we are and what we believe. Culture functions both as a glue keeping us together, as well as a blueprint on how to live. And we can't even say exactly what it is. Crazy, right? Here's the definition we use at Spicy Soup. Culture is a group's shared history, social norms, language, values, and rituals. History includes a group's origin story, or how that group came to be, and all the events that are worth remembering that brought that group together. Norms are the expected behaviors within a group. It includes things like manners and etiquette. Language should be obvious, but it also includes things like slang, jargon, and even emojis. Values are the things that a group or culture places significance or importance on. And finally, rituals, repeated actions used to strengthen or reinforce a group. Things such as holidays, religious services, and even sometimes fist bumps. There's a lot more to each of these topics. Each one of these could be their own in their own future episode. There's also related topics like cultural relativity and social identities. We'll save those for another time. Also, given this definition, you can probably see why counting the number of cultures is essentially impossible. If not, check out the next section. So how do these cultures, these unseen powers, shape us? Well, let's take a look at an example. Let's say this circle is you. Done. I've mentioned before that culture is a little like soup, in that it flavors whatever it touches. So let's flavor you. For this person, family and its culture were a major influence. So was their nation. They were really into anime. They were also really into gaming. They had 2 major but distinct friend groups. They also had a foreign-born grandparent who passed along some of their culture. And then there were tons of other influences, until eventually we have you and your culture. Now, we aren't influenced by every culture we come in contact with. Sometimes we encounter something new and it doesn't really affect us. Sometimes we're completely turned off by it. And sometimes we just don't care to learn either way. But the cultures that do affect us usually stay with us in one form or another for the rest of our lives. So there you have it. Sociology's most important building block, both indescribable and innumerable. It doesn't make sociology impossible. I'd say it makes sociology fun. Besides, If the unseen force of culture plays such a crucial role in our lives, wouldn't it be better to be in the know? Thank you for watching this episode of Spicy Soup. Leave a comment if you would agree, disagree, would like to suggest future topics, or simply say hello. Like and subscribe if you like what you saw. My name is Chad Seeger, and I'll see you on the next episode of Spicy Soup.